Today, Sony launched the brand new A7R IV, a 61 megapixel camera. Anybody else feeling completely underwhelmed? Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the vlog. My name is Vic Barry. I work as a creative video director and editor, and on this channel we bring you on some adventures, and predominantly we talk about all things camera gear and tech and helping you make better content. So the Sony A7R IV 61 megapixel sensor, huge. It's a new sensor from Sony. Sony haven't had a new sensor tech since around 2015. So that's a big yes. Awesome. Yes, it's got that insane artificial intelligence Skynet style autofocus, which knows if you're a human, it knows if you're an elephant, a buffalo, it knows what type of eyes you have and it tracks your eyes. It's insanely good. You may have seen this on something like the Sony A7R IV, which is a great camera, and now this Skynet Terminator autofocus works in video, which is crazy. So that means basically everything will always be in focus all of the time, theoretically, unless it runs out of diesel. Yes! If you use the APS-C mode in it, that focus will cover 99% of the frame, which is just mind-bogglingly insane. And when you're using APS-C mode, you're going to be getting about a 26 megapixel capture. All of that is awesome. So they're all the big yeses. I'm really underwhelmed by this. I was really looking forward to this brand new Sony camera. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but the general consensus on the web seems that people are just a little bit disappointed by the whole thing. I'm feeling very underwhelmed, and here's some of the reasons why. If you agree, if you disagree, get into the comments. Let's get this conversation going in the community. All right, let's get to the no's and the things that are really underwhelming. The image stabilization hasn't really moved. It's still kind of 5.5 stops. It's the same image stabilization that's in some of the more recent Sony cameras, like the A7 III. It's got the same IBIS in that. So you're like, come on. Could they have not done a little bit more? It doesn't have a flip-up screen. Not a deal breaker if you're a photographer, potentially, depending if you want to get into some like weird angles and you want to flip the screen, but you can't. Yeah, it does tilt, but tilting screen is more or less useless, and you're always going to be inclined to just like push it and snap it off. Or maybe that's just me. It doesn't shoot 4K 60. I get it, the body might have to be a little bit bigger than what it currently is to dissipate heat at 4K 60, but again, at this price point and what they're pushing, no 4K 60? Okay, you get 120 frames per second at 1080, but like your $400 GoPro Hero 7 Black can do 120 frames per second at 2.7K. The big issue as well, though, with the video side of this, and this is a problem with all of the Sony kind of Alpha line, is that there is no 10-bit color. Now, if you know exactly what 10-bit color is, you don't need for this to be explained. But for anybody that's watching and going, what the hell is 10-bit color, man? You know, those bands that you get on, we'll say, a sky or whatever, so it's like dot 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 with, you know, the basic doesn't look smooth, the colors are kind of banded. That kind of disappears with 10-bit color, but this is shooting 8-bit color like all of the other Sony cameras, and it basically means that if you like to shoot in a flat color profile like S-Log2 or S-Log3, you're not going to be able to push the grade and the color as much as you would like. And you can, it's up to you, but it could all just fall apart and explode. Those things make me think this is a really underwhelming camera. However, if you're a photographer, you may well consider something like this, because at the 61 megapixel sensor that's in it, we are kind of coming up to medium format camera size range. So you might be thinking one of them Fuji medium formats, or maybe this. But you're not going to buy this for video because it's falling apart for video. This is not a good camera for video. Look, that's probably a bit over the top to say, but you don't get the features that you would get in a camera, we'll say like a Panasonic GH5. I know the autofocus still sucks a little bit and it sucks in low light, but you've got 10-bit internal color on the GH5. You've got 4K 60. You know, you've got decent bit rates up to 400 megabits per second. This though, it's going to be no good for video. And I think the whole thing has been very underwhelming for Sony. To me, it feels like they're really kind of trying to prove their dominance in the mirrorless camera market, which is still an emerging market, because not everybody is going mirrorless, and they are all playing catch up, the likes of Canon with the EOS R and stuff like that. They're kind of playing catch up to Sony, so Sony have had the jump start in this for a while, but this isn't enough. It feels to me like we've built this amazing new sensor tech. Now let's just shove it into a body that we had lying around the place, and let's put an extra few buttons as a bolt on. And that's it. I genuinely was feeling this could be the next camera for me, and I guess a few things, if you looked at the presentation earlier on and I watched this live streaming earlier today, you think, okay, there's no mention of bit rates, there's no mention of frame rates for video, because they don't have anything to market positively. As I said, it does feel like this is an amazing sensor just shoveled into a few bodies that got lying around in a warehouse. But let me know what you think. I mean, if you're a photographer, if you're coming at this from the photography angle, is this something that you would really, really consider? Because as I said, it's near that medium format range. Or would you go, no, if I want medium format, I'm going to buy a medium format camera. And then you've got the price point. So $3,500 and up. And of course, it's £3,500. It's €3,500. A lot of money to spend on a camera that I'm sure if you're a wedding shooter, you might kind of think this could be the ultimate hybrid camera where I can get my video, I can get my photography all in one camera. But no, because as most wedding photographers will always look for that slow-mo stuff, you are hugely, hugely restricted. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Sony in the next couple of weeks when this camera, which is out in September, does get into people's hands and they can see what the battery life is like, if there's overheating issues, you know, what the image quality is like. And some of the stills that I have seen do look really, 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 really good. At the moment, if you want to download some of the raw photos that are around the place, you're going to find trouble trying to get these things to work because Lightroom won't open these ARW files. At the moment, for some reason, it needs an update, and Sony's own Imaging Edge software, which I've just downloaded, it doesn't seem to want to open them either, which is the only place apparently that you can open them. But there are some amazing photographs out there, so maybe if this is the next big camera from a photographer's perspective, but I think for anybody that's into content creation or looking for a camera that's going to do more than just photos, this probably is not the one for you. So yeah, I'm very underwhelmed. I was expecting a little bit more than this, especially when you look at what Panasonic have currently kind of got out there. So maybe there is the A7S III coming, and apparently there's another event next week. That's what the rumor mills are saying, that there's another Sony event. I would think that that's probably going to be a follow-up to the A6500, so you're maybe looking at an A6600 or an A7000. And I think most people who are in the content creation space that want a kind of an APS-C camera for maybe $1,200, $1,500, and they don't want to go with the 6400, they're waiting for image stabilization, they're waiting for that 4K 60. I don't think Sony can bring out the 4K 60 just yet because they seem to be very focused on camera size and portability and weight. And for 4K 60 to happen, I mean, it does need a bigger body, and I don't think Sony are willing to do that right now at the price point, even though the grip on this one is a lot bigger and the camera is physically that bit bigger. But I don't know, I don't work for Sony. I don't make the decisions, but yeah. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. Am I just rambling rubbish here, or is there other people out there kind of going, I'm really underwhelmed by the Sony A7R IV? My name is Vic Barry. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, or you can support the channel directly on patreon.com/Vic Barry. I'll see you on the next episode of the vlog, and until then, check out some of the other videos. You never know, you might like them. And don't stop fighting for yourself.